you should know the other perspective. You should better understand the client perspective.
Get into business with somebody you trust, and who else can you trust better than your family?
So I think the ideal CEO knows about technology, knows about finance, knows about negotiations, about psychology. So there are lots of different things that should be there. I believe in non-binary solutions. I mean that when we negotiate something, it's not usually about A or B, like what you want, what I want.
What are your top 3, I guess, changes for the IT sector, for the tech industry?
My best answer usually is please just leave as it is.
Are you a happy man as well?
Yes.
Hello and welcome everyone to yet another episode of VUnstaged with yet another special guest. And like I said in the previous one, I will not spoil the show. I will let our special guest introduce himself.
Oh.
So my question would be, if you can tell us your name, what do you do for a living? And of course, an important question, how did you get into tech? I ask this everyone.
Okay, so my name is Anton Perkin and I'm CEO at FusionWorks. But yeah, there are some other things I'm doing and hopefully we will talk about that. So for a living, I'm doing what? I have a family. For a living, I have a nice family and I have kids.
Wasn't expecting that answer.
I have my wife, I have my kids. Yeah, I have my cat. Yeah,
you have a cat.
But yes. But to feed the cat, I need to go to work.
I know. It's such a hustle. I used to have a cat too. It's like the fridge used to be full with food, like way more food for the cat than for myself.
Right. So to feed the cat, I need to go to work, and to work as a CEO of FusionWorks, and FusionWorks is a software development company. So like if in plain words, we're doing software. So, and I'm head of that company. I used to be a developer, and now hopefully with AI, I will get back to development as well.
Okay.
Because now even my cat can become a developer. So together we will work to feed the cat.
Yeah, you'll have fur on your clothes, on your computer, everywhere.
I already have. Yeah. So, and answering your question, how I got into tech.
Yeah.
The thing is that I was doomed. Me and my brother, we were doomed because our father, he worked in tech, right? Even in those times. So he was doing programming, he was doing development. My mother was teaching programming in using calculators, calculator, not computers, but they were calculators where you can program. So at those times there were such kind of devices. I have
like assembly stuff, or
well, it is like I was too small at the time, so I don't remember everything. But I have this kind of calculator in my office, in my museum. So one day when you come. So it was possible even like to play games there with the calculator, but that's a separate topic, and I'm not the best person to talk about it.
Yeah, it reminds me of the class at the university when we used to do like assembly and stuff, and the teacher used to tell us about that. But then we'd also have this interesting challenges. Some people would even go crazy and do like games in assembly, which is like super nuts.
Yeah, it is. So actually, me and my brother, we were doomed to start working in IT because like we're coming from an IT family.
So you're the pressure is there, you could say.
The thing is that my brother was happy to do programming stuff. So he was programming using the old school computers, like our first computer. It was just a keyboard. Actually, this was like what now we call a Mac. At those times, it was a even Soviet built calculator computer. Sorry. So it was a keyboard, and then the keyboard you had like the processor. Everything was inside. Then you were connecting it to a tape recorder, and the tape recorder was connected to the TV, to the old-fashioned TV. Yeah, and for example, to play a game, because I was at those times in 90s, I was playing games. I was not programming there, and you had a cassette, so you were putting in the tape recorder the cassette, and then you were uploading the game into the memory of the computer through this cassette. So on the cassette you had the game actually. So it was like uploading to the memory of the computer, and then you were able to play it. And my brother was doing games there as well, like the simple ones. And I remember he was teaching me how to program, and I was like, I don't want that. Maybe I was too small at that time.
So your brother is like the one who was pushing you a little bit.
Yeah, he was pushing. Now he's CTO at FusionWorks.
Yeah, no wonder he's like the CTO and you're the CEO.
yeah. But I became a developer. Like eventually,
more on that.
I
More on that.
developer.
More on the developer thing. So since like how many years has it been since you've written code?
I'm not actively programming. I don't know, for about like 13 or
that's
12 years.
I've also seen on your LinkedIn that you're part of some PHP group or whatever.
I was a PHP developer.
So since you are a PHP developer, I'm curious if you still remember how do you declare a variable in PHP?
You do not declare a variable in PHP.
No, like what's the syntax?
At those times, many people were saying that PHP is a shitty language because you were writing.
No, I didn't mean it like declare in sense of a statically typed declare, but more like I wanted to make fun of the dollar thing.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Dollar variable name.
Right. Yes, dollar and the name of the variable.
Yeah, people usually make fun of that, like of young developers who like broke and students from the university who need money, and they like make fun of the dollar. Like you put the dollar in front of the variable.
Yes, that was about money because PHP developers were getting good salaries. That's the thing. At those times, like PHP developers were like .NET developers, cool, real developers. Java developers, real developers.
Yeah.
Like PHP developers, they're writing shitty code. But the problem was that the language itself was not shitty, and you can write a good clean code in PHP as well. But the thing is that it allowed you to write a shitty code because it was saying like, if you don't want to declare a variable, we don't care. Do not. You may not do this if you want. So the thing is that it allowed you to write shitty code, like unstructured or whatever.
Yeah, it's the nature of the language because it's dynamically typed, all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
now it's a lot better.
But if you want, you can declare it, not a problem, and you can write a good clean code in PHP. Even those times, like it was possible. I was writing that, and I can tell you,
you are the exception.
I can tell you. I was, because I like order, but maybe it's even my problem. But I like when everything is in order, and I was spending time. I was programming during the working days, and Saturdays and Sundays I was refactoring my own code and to make sure everything is written nice. Like all the brackets are like nice, like I love them. I have comments everywhere. Every function has the comments. Like
how often were you writing code on paper? Do you remember those times?
It's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's a nostalgia.
It's cool. Yeah, that was fun when you were writing the code on a piece of paper and like doing some exams on programming at school, and then they check it and they say like, okay, there is no semicolon, right? but and so my -1, and like. What's the problem when I'm really programming? If I forgot a semicolon,
nobody cares nowadays.
It will show you that it's missing or whatever.
The IDEs have evolved so much. I remember the times when people used to like code in Notepad. Not even Notepad. Notepad is advanced.
Notepad plus.
Even Word, they used to write like the code in Word, and then you would convert the file extension to like HTML or whatever, and then it would work. Which is it's crazy how far we've evolved. Have you ever created your framework?
Yeah, so we had our own framework.
I think everyone has done
with
that.
My boss before creating FusionWorks. Yeah, I had a boss, but we had many projects written with it was an MVC framework.
Yeah,
and so I had the code generation stuff, like. I was given.
You were generating like classes, controllers, and stuff.
Yes, everything was like all the basic stuff was generated automatically because I was given to my framework. I was given just the scheme of database, like the access actually to the database, MySQL or Microsoft SQL, and it was generating all the create, update, delete operations, like everything. At least the admin panel was generated automatically, like everything. And this was many years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah, when
we were doing that. And I also had, for our framework, I created the IDE. online with JavaScript with no framework. I found some code on the internet and then modified it before jQuery.
Oh, before jQuery.
Before jQuery, I was not using jQuery there, and it was highlighting the functions from our framework. So it knew about our framework. Now we can say this. It was trained in our framework.
Yeah, it used
actually
to,
it was
it
not.
It had AI.
Yeah. So at those times, just imagine I was doing my own online IDE with JavaScript and its code generation stuff in our own framework. I was thinking I'm the best developer, not in the world, but in the country. But this is a normal, a classic thing that then you grow up and you understand that.
Then you meet you meet some geek who knows a whole lot more than you.
You're not that good. Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned the CEO of FusionWorks.
Right.
You also have a son, correct?
Yes.
So if I were to be 7 years old, how would you explain your day-to-day job to me?
My day-to-day job?
Yeah, like what do you do? You wake up in the morning. What do you do?
My son, he's 7, and maybe he's not that curious right now what exactly I'm doing at work right now. But if I explain, like, because for him, I will explain it something differently. Like I'm going to the office and we're building software and we're building different applications there. Because if I start to explain my own routine, this will be too complicated for him.
I sit in meetings all day.
fun now. Yeah. But if I explain it to someone more grown up, I can explain about my routine because it's quite diversified, but it is structured. Like I have my own routine that I'm following every day.
I'm still probably not gonna sell the idea to another kid, but I'll accept the answer.
Okay.
So since you mentioned again CEO of your company, I guess my question is also a personal question, but also I guess something that the audience would love to know is. How did you get to the idea of starting your own company? Like, what pushed you, I guess, to start your own company? And a follow-up question would be, how did you land your first client?
Yeah, so I was not brave at all. I'm not brave, absolutely. It's never a story like I decided to quit my job. I went to a garage with my friends and we created something. It's not like this.
Yeah.
So I was working in the company where we created this framework and all this stuff. So we were doing software development, and I was a like the leading developer there in PHP. And step by step, I was getting my own clients. So something that I was doing like
on the side.
Like some extra hours of development. So this how it was. Like it was a long eventual process. And actually, so at some point I started to have my own clients. And the thing is that in the company where I was working, there was an issue with paying salaries, blah blah blah. So as a result, I understood that I just should go with my clients because like there I will not get my salary anymore. So I had my clients, and they were like, I don't remember exactly how they appeared, but yeah, it was just some talking to someone, meeting someone, networking, all that stuff. Yeah. And at the same time, my brother was doing the same. He also had his own clients, and I was doing PHP, and he was doing Java.
Oh,
and we were selling each other the contracts.
You're redirecting him to
so let's say I have something. I have a client, and this client needs Java development, and I'm going to my brother and saying like, okay, you give me some percentage, whatever referral bonus, and I will forward it to him, or I will buy like developers from you, because he had already a group of people doing some software development. So we were actually selling to each other, and at some point we decided that we just need to unite, and we created FusionWorks.
Did you have like different companies where you were doing it like on a like?
It was let's say two different, not companies.
Yeah,
it was something like
so it's more of a freelance
freelance stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that we created the company before FusionWorks. We created the company 6 years before actually we started doing FusionWorks.
Yeah,
we created the company officially. But that was like a dead company. We just created because we had an idea that we will do something together. But at that time, we were not able to find our own clients. So we went to work in different companies. And then at some point, we decided to quit those companies. We were doing freelance, and then we united again after 6 years. So we created the company Then in 6 years, we were doing different stuff, getting experience, programming, and all that stuff. And after 6 years, we united again and created the company. And since then, for 14 years already, we're working together. So that's the whole story. But it was like a very like thing that developed step by step.
So you mentioned your brother. You and him were doing like providing different services on your own, and then you united. So I'm sure you hear this a lot. Like people a lot of the time say that it's not a good idea necessarily to mix family and business.
Right.
What's your take on this, and how you would say you can prove them wrong?
I don't want to prove them wrong because it depends first on whom we mean here by family. I will explain. And the second thing is it depends on people, right? So first thing that usually does not depend on people, but which is pretty straightforward. If you're working with your, let's say, wife or your husband, that's an issue usually.
Yeah.
You may say it depends on people. Usually it's not. It's very complicated, not because people are bad, but you wake up together, you go to the office together, then you go back together. And from psychological point of view, this is not the thing I like, because with my wife, we used to work together, and it's not about us being bad or whatever.
So let's say
we worked, everything was okay, but it's much better to reunite after
let's
work and talk
let's say
to
by
each other.
family I mean a family which loves you in a platonic way. So
Yeah.
that would be your dad, your
Yeah.
I don't know, brothers, sisters,
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah. So I just wanted to exclude this kind of case.
No,
because
that is,
I think that working with your spouse is not a good idea. But once it may depend on people,
Yeah.
but usually it's a bad idea.
you're not progressive.
No, I'm absolutely agree.
No, I'm just kidding.
You can work with whomever you feel comfortable. I just know it from my experience talking to other people, which were saying that
Yeah, I've seen
it's
too
not working
many.
because
I've seen too many ruined relationships
Yes,
because of
because
that.
you live together and you work together. But with your brother, you're not living together. That's the idea. So you have your you have your lives separated, and here it depends on people. Why? Because I'm CEO and he's CTO. He's doing more technical stuff. I'm doing more non-technical stuff.
Yeah.
And we just complement each other, so we can do it together. I don't want to do his job, and he doesn't want to do my job. So that's the idea. You can work together because you're not competing. The problem is when you compete, when you have two people, you're doing more or less the same thing, and you compete. But the thing is that he loves to do what he does. I love to do what I'm doing.
Yeah, I guess it comes down to, I don't know, ego and greed to some point. That's why I guess people say you shouldn't mix family with business, because you may get in the way and you don't want to ruin the family relationship because of some business and some ambitions and whatnot.
Yeah, but we're doing just things, so we help each other, and we have everything 50-50. That's also the thing, that I don't care. If I, for example, come to this podcast and you pay me money, by the way, he's not paying me money. That's the problem. But if you pay me money, I will go and share this money with my brother. So I'm not getting...
I actually look forward to this kind of relationship. It's because I've seen some of your posts on like you and your brother and your relationship, and I must say I really am like a big fan of those relationships. And like if you were to get into business with somebody,
mm-hmm.
and like you need to, I guess, get into business with somebody you trust, mm-hmm. and who else can you trust better than your family? That's what I would argue. Other people might disagree, but I would say this is like the best scenario you could have.
Yeah, once again, it depends on your family members. Like there are different cases, but in our case, and we know also we're synchronized in terms of like our no bullshit approach to things. So I trust him that he's not doing something that where I'm not involved, and something
I like that.
Something bad, yeah, and the same vice versa.
I'm a huge fan of that approach.
So that's the thing.
Yeah. So what else I wanted to ask, I guess, is so you mentioned conferences and developer gathering.
Yes.
And I'm not sure to what extent. I guess in this case, I do remember you more than you remember me. So I wanted to bring into context how I actually met you. So it was, I believe, an event at the Technical University organized by FusionWorks. It was some kind of, I don't know, design contest and some stuff. At the time, I was still looking for what I'm interested in, and I was involved in one of the competitions. I believe there was some contest about designing your new logo or something.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that into context and to say that that's how I remember you. And you may actually have more influence than you think you do, in a sense that you've contributed to many developers' careers and kickstarted it in a way. And I was one of the students at the time at the university. So I guess a follow-up question to that is, how important is for an IT company to be involved in the IT community and contribute and give back and I guess be the leader of coaching the new generation of engineers?
Well, I think there are like two things. First, an IT company, why usually they're involved in some community stuff? Because IT companies still need people, right, to join their company. So that's why usually companies are involved in different community activities.
Let me maybe rephrase the question. What would be the motivation for IT companies in 2025 when there's so much or so many developers and the market is oversaturated in a way? Why would companies care about coaching the new generation of engineers, for example, because when they have a very big surplus of engineers who were either laid off or they're looking for a job and they can just take advantage of that?
We still need good developers.
Yeah.
We always need them. Even if the market is oversaturated, as you mentioned, sometimes it's not that oversaturated right now. So sometimes for some positions, it's very difficult to find the right people still right now. It was even worse like 3 years ago, but now it's a bit easier, but it's still, to hire the right people, it is still a challenge. So I guess IT companies still need to do that, to have their employer branding so people know their companies and all that stuff. So that's the usual motivation of a company, still hiring, right? Because as we're doing the conference and we're inviting other companies, and what they're looking for is to hire the right people, right? So I know their motivation because I'm talking to lots of them. And when I'm inviting them to partner the conference, and I'm asking what do you want from the conference, and usually it is like supporting the community, but the end goal usually it is to get the right people, to hire the right people. For many years, we were saying that FusionWorks is doing software development. You asked about what I would answer to my son.
Yeah.
And that was the problem, because when I was telling people what is FusionWorks, and they were not my children but quite grown up people, they were confused, because I was saying that FusionWorks is doing software development, organizing the conference, doing startups, doing the teaching people, and they were like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, you are defocused completely. There's a company doing everything." So that's why we changed that. Now FusionWorks, it's software development, and conference is separately. Startups.
Okay, to go back to the conference thing, the reason I was asking before why companies, or what's the motivation for companies to get involved, is because I do see FusionWorks as like the leading company in Moldova, at least, organizing events and IT conferences and whatnot. And I personally do see like a benefit in that. First of all, you network with a lot of people, you bring in new ideas, new minds, new people, and all that stuff. So I guess I wanted to ask how important that is. And maybe if you can tell the audience, maybe some people who still want to buy some tickets and come to Moldova and drink some wine and whatnot and have some tech talks. So what is Moldova Dev Con, and why would you recommend it to people locally and maybe people abroad?
It's not an event branded by FusionWorks.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's very important, because not all the companies, they understand that. To organize such a big conference, because we're expecting 1,000 people coming, you need money, you need a budget. And we're trying to do this self-sustainable thing. And the partners are covering more than half of all the expenses. The tickets, it's 30-40% of the total budget. And we need the partners to do that. And we don't want to do this from like FusionWorks account and brand this event with our logos and everything. Usually when you come there, you won't see our logos everywhere. You won't see our big stand or whatever, because we're so focused on organizing the community event that we forget to make a big stand for FusionWorks.
It actually
because
also
we're involved in others.
it actually benefits you, because like if you promote this selfless promotion of the event, then it actually shows you care about the community, although you still do care about, in a way, maximizing the company's profits and making the company more successful.
Yes.
But still it's a community event. It's an event which a lot of people participate in, and it's, I would say, very helpful for the community. A lot of, let's say, youngsters participate there and whatnot. So I would say it's a very positive net overall.
Yes, and this is the thing that this really like motivates me. We have a team. It's not me. Actually, we have a team that are doing the most of the work, like a lot of things. I'm there. Yes, you may see me as a public person speaking about it. I'm not a public person in general, but I mean I'm the face of the conference usually. But there is a team working on that, and we have general event manager, Veronica, who is doing a lot of stuff, but she's never even on stage because she's always busy doing some stuff. So I need to give lots of credits to the team who is actually doing that. But yes, a lot of my time and efforts goes there because it motivates me. I love doing this because like software development at some point maybe is a bit of a boring business. Now with AI, it's not that boring anymore. But our staffing business, it can be boring.
Yeah.
But doing the conferences, it's never boring. It's always fun.
It sparks that fire in you.
Yes, right.
It reminds me, I don't know, for me, software development is always interesting. It's of course boring when I'm doing it like for business, for companies and whatnot, because I'm doing the same thing as, don't know if you know DHH. There's like the creator of Ruby on Rails. He used to say like, we're CRUD monkeys. We take data from forms and then we save it into the database and then we serve it to via APIs to. So essentially we're doing the same thing, but there's something interesting about these conferences that people gather and they share their use cases and what they find out and what they struggle with. And there's something interesting in that. People used to do that more. They don't do it as often today. So I think this is a really net positive event overall.
Yeah. So, and the biggest motivation is people like you who are saying that these events makes a difference. And I can tell like why we're doing that, because what's our actually goal? Developers are people who are actually doing stuff. There are lots of events, absolutely great events in Moldova that celebrate like other people, like celebrate tech or whatever, but they're not focused on people who actually do stuff, the developers.
Yeah.
There are maybe conferences where people gather and say like, we developed this, we developed that. But usually who actually develop that are not coming to those conferences.
Of course, they're not taking the credits for that.
Yeah, but I mean, those people are great, but I want to show the another part of that. And we're doing this for developers. And when we took one of the hardest audiences, because taking developers from their apartments and houses and bringing them to a public place, it is still a challenge. To explain why should they come there and what they are going to see. But I really think that it's worth it, because when people come there, so what people should expect from that conference when they come. First of all, there are lots of presentations from speakers from outside the country. That's our idea. We're bringing as many foreigner speakers as possible from big tech companies like Amazon, like IBM, like MongoDB, Wix, and others, bring them here for them to share the experience to our local developers. And also we're gathering local developers who share also their experiences. So we're giving the stage to people who usually are not so used to come on stage.
Yeah,
that's the idea. We're giving the stage to those who were usually forgotten, or I can tell you 15 years ago, that was very difficult to find people who will go and speak on stage.
I think we're still growing on this aspect. People being used to, I guess, sharing more.
Yes, and I want them to show up to come here. But we're blending this with those presentations and workshops with parties. Yeah, we will have a pre-party. We will have the wine and tech dinner. We will have the after party. Usually it's like concerts or whatever dances that we have. So we're doing the thing that no one is doing. That's our idea. to do something. This is what motivates me, that we are doing something that no one else is doing here in Moldova, and we can bring this and we can do this better and better every year. So what people to expect? To expect the great people coming, great speakers coming from all over the world, people with whom you can discuss AI or whatever. You can like sit with Amazon, IBM, MongoDB, and discuss them the future of AI, which is I think is great. We'll have parties, and we will have lots of activities, even like beauty corner, blind tasting, barbershop. We will have like so many great stuff thanks to our partners.
Yeah. So I guess what else I wanted to ask. This is not even my question. This is somebody who I ask, what would be best to ask Anton?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a question from someone.
Mm-hmm.
You might know him. The question is, what is your experience with partnerships that didn't work, and what did you learn from it?
Do you mean the partnerships between like with other companies or with like people who are...
Yeah, perhaps other businesses, companies, and whatnot.
Well, when you are selling your services, there are lots of partnerships that didn't even start. so there are actually lots of them, and you just need to get used to that it's something, because there may be people coming and saying like, okay, let's partner, let's do some big stuff, and you are like, okay, let's do this, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
So here I just don't like when I'm wasting my time, but it's a normal thing.
There's a lot of CEOs nowadays.
Right.
What do you think? How important is it for a CEO to also be technical?
But you mean in a technical company, right?
I mean, let's say, how important is it for a CEO to rise up to be a CEO from a technical position, whereas people just go and become CEOs and they have no clue how tech works, but they are the CEO of an IT company?
Yeah, so I think if you're a CEO of IT company, it's good to have a understanding of tech. So it doesn't mean that you need to have a deep understanding, because sometimes there is an issue when developers become CEOs, they still think like developers. And this is not good.
Can you explain what does think like developers
So from a
mean?
development point of view, like many years ago, I such kind of people who were thinking like from a development point of view, if the feature should be developed, and they were thinking about the how it's better to make in like more beautiful from a technical perspective, but not from a client perspective. So not from a business perspective. You were thinking like, okay, in our framework, it's better to have it like this, but the client, he wants the other stuff. But they were still thinking like developers. So this thing usually is not good. So you should go from that. Even if you're a developer, you should study study management.
Would you say that it comes down to compromises? Like, let's say if you were a developer previously and now you're the CTO or the CEO, you need to maybe compromise on what you used to think is the cool thing to do?
You should know the other perspective. You should better understand the client perspective. Sometimes developers, they have their own opinion of how should it work, not thinking about what really the customer wants. Because as a result, software should do its job. And okay, how beautiful is the code? No one cares.
Correct.
It should be reliable. Yeah, it should work. No bugs. It should be scalable. No issues with that. But it should do the job. So I think that the technical background is a good thing. So you should know that. But all the CEOs, not only about technical, they should know some things that go together with management. For example, like finance. For example, how to do negotiations. So different skills that go together with management. And the same thing, also the like development, some basics of technology. So I think the ideal CEO knows about technology, knows about finance, knows about negotiations, about psychology. So there are lots of different things that should be there. And also, the technological part, I think it's good.
Can you share a negotiation tip which you think is helping you close deals as a CEO, but also using your experience as a previous developer?
Oh yeah, I even used to have a course on negotiations.
So share your number one negotiation tip.
There are lots of them, but I think the thing that I believe is I believe in non-binary solutions. I mean that when we negotiate something, it's not usually about A or B, like what you want, what I want.
Okay.
We can find the solution that will work for us. And I'm not talking about always about the compromise, because compromise is the thing equally bad for everyone. But compromise is not that good, let's say. But we can find just a third solution that will work for us. And there were so many cases that, I need to understand in negotiations what the other part wants, what's the real interest behind it. Because in negotiations, we divide your position. You say like, I want money, and that's it. And your real interest, what do you really want? And when I understand that, and when I understand my real interest in these negotiations, we can find the solution, and not just standing on our positions. I want this, I want this.
But it does come down to compromises, though, because let's say
sometimes it's not compromise.
Like you as the company, for example, are looking for profits. The client is looking for some I guess product which is high quality, but in a reasonable amount of time. So I guess.
Yeah. Okay. And we find the solution. We suggest that we will have a product that will be done with a lot of using AI. Because the thing is, the problem with software development is that the salary is the biggest cost. The thing I hate that. And we're going to change that.
What do you mean that?
We're going to change. I mean, like, if you break down the expense of a software company, an outsourcing company, 85% of the expenses are salaries.
Okay.
And this is absolutely not scalable thing. And your final price depends very much on the salary of a developer. But if you use more of AI-assisted development, in this case, you can reduce you can give more to people.
Yeah.
Like the result can be the same or even better. You may pay even less, but I as a company will also spend less, right?
Yeah.
For example, compare two things. There is a developer who is doing like hourly job. I sell you the developer by hours. I have my margin. It is a small one. And then I'm using 10 developers. Another thing, I'm using 5 developers. But they're using AI as much as possible, right? And I can deliver the same thing in the same time, but my the salary will not be the main cost, and my margin will be much higher.
Yeah, but you're still
which
paying
means
them.
I can cut my margin a little bit and give it back to you.
Yeah, you're still paying them though.
Whom?
The developers. The developers that are using AI, correct?
Yes, but at some point, like in the first option, I'm paying to 10 developers. In the second option, I'm paying 5 developers. And the first one, they are using just manual development, and the others are using also AI.
Is that the case though nowadays? Is that the case nowadays that people?
It will be.
No. What I'm asking is that the case that nowadays people use only manual development?
Sometimes there is a huge resistance in the development world. That's why in Moldova Dev Con we will have a debate. We'll have a special section for debate regarding AI, because there is a huge resistance from developers who are saying that we're not all of them.
Yeah,
we're saying that AI. I need to fix so many things after AI, so I will not do that. And this is maybe how developers think. But from a CEO point of view, you know that AI makes mistakes, but it will make less mistakes in future, and you can rely on this scheme like developer plus AI right now. So an AI will improve step by step, month after month. It will improve, and you don't need to contribute.
Yeah, I mean, I find a little bit hard the idea of using AI personally to just, let's say, it does boost my productivity, but I wouldn't say it's up to 50%.
Not yet.
In my case, at least, it's more like 20-30%. So it does the boring stuff.
Right.
It does the stuff that I don't necessarily want to spend the time on, like implementing some algorithm or doing some boring tasks, some CRUD, some whatever. But if you the more it lacks context, and the more let's say specific the problem of a business gets, the more you lose it. and then it fixes one problem and it breaks another 20. And I guess that's what developers mean from that perspective, is you're trying to solve one problem, but in the pursuit of doing that, you're actually breaking more. And like, how do you solve that?
Well, the answer is quite easy. We created our own tool, which is called Engine AI, and yeah, you can guess it's Anton Engine ID. And my brother Engine .ai. It's a tool built by developers and for developers, and the idea is that it knows the context of the project.
Yeah.
So here we are trying to solve with Engine AI. We're trying to solve this kind of issue because we understand that the issue exists.
So you mentioned context, and on that I wanted to touch on businesses being, I guess, trying to avoid, in a way, selling their data to AI products or companies. So I guess my question, it goes including to your product, is how do you, let's say, overcome that? Because there's some businesses who say we don't want developers to use AI for this specific product, and there's some NDAs in place. And there's also, I guess, like to what extent you can, let's say you can use AI, but to what extent you're allowed to provide the full context?
Well, the thing is that when you're doing software for someone, you ask them, you tell them that you will be using AI. And if they say no, that's okay. We can do without it.
Yeah.
But this is, once again, we talked about negotiations. Yeah. You are trying to understand what's the problem there. And if you can solve this problem, maybe you can do this like for less money for the customer and get a higher margin. But if they insist on that, that's okay.
Yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up is because there's a lot of startups, especially in the security aspect, they're rising up. And the reason for that is being a lot of, let's say, data collection, which has been proven right by many companies that provide AI services. And I guess a lot of customers are just afraid of, let's say, selling their data to and training, allowing AI companies, AI projects on training on their data, which is the primary concern.
Yeah, this concern is there. It's still an issue. But for many customers for whom it's not a problem, we're using AI, and yeah, we can boost that.
Since we opened the Pandora box with AI, I would love to address some questions on that, because like I have many questions on this. Okay. So I'll start with the first one. The first one would be, before we got to AI, we had developers. We had people that knew what is up. They knew logic. They knew how to program stuff. They knew what's going on in the business, how to solve a problem, where to find the bug and whatnot. So nowadays we see less of that. Now I would say we even have, let's say, in a way, less competent developers. I've seen that in many industries, in many companies I've been. Since the whole AI boom, you see that developers are thinking less with their minds. So my question would be, how important it is for the new generation of kids to actually learn how to code.
They should learn how to code, because now, for example, nowadays, there is a problem, for junior developers. Why? Because when they're using AI, they don't understand. They think that AI generated, is it good or not? So that's the idea.
Are they motivated to do that?
Well, if they are doing this for someone, if I, for example, hire a junior developer and he cannot understand what AI is doing, so the result will be bad, and this person will be fired.
Should he understand it, though? If, let's say, the managers push the idea of fast development and fast shipping, is there any motivation whatsoever for him to actually understand what's going on, instead of just pushing the crap because we want to push it faster?
Well, I guess together with the manager, they have a technical lead or a CTO or whatever. And this is the person who should supervise this thing. Because if you give to 10 junior developers, you give the task, you give the project, and tell them, okay, use AI and develop that. I don't like this idea. I don't want. I hope very much that I will not be using the software.
It's gonna be an interesting,
especially
software.
in banking or whatever.
But let's say before he even becomes a junior developer, how does he even get to be a junior developer if there's so many AI tools left and right? Is it important for them to how important is for them to actually learn how to code, learn concepts?
They learn how to code using AI. This is the first thing. You have your personal tutor.
But how can you trust that? It makes a lot of mistakes.
the same people also make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
That's the
but
problem.
like previously, let me give you an example. So
Uh-huh.
previously, if somebody wanted to learn, for example, JavaScript,
Uh-huh.
there's like MDN, like a big
Mhm.
site by Mozilla. You can go in there, read the documentation, run the examples, test it yourself. So people used to do a lot of Stack Overflow, GitHub threads, running the examples and whatnot. Nowadays, people just trust whatever the AI gives them, and they might run the example, but it. My point is, I guess it gives you a false sense of accomplishment in many ways.
Right.
And my leading question would be, what do you think are the negative effects of AI above, like among all the positive effects which it has, and we all are thankful to? What are the negatives?
Well, the negatives, you mentioned the first negative thing, that sometimes we will trust something, but once again, you can go and check, right? So there are still lots of resources on the internet that you trust, and you can go and check the information, and also you can get the courses and you can learn how to program using the other resources other than AI. So you still can do that, right? So with AI, I'm AI optimist. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the first thing, and I made it on purpose. Like, I want to be AI optimist, and because we are, as a software development company, we're all in this direction. So we just believe that the future of software development is AI assisted software development, where we have great engineers together with AI, and they're doing stuff. So that's what we believe. So sometimes, yeah, we may not see the negative parts of that. I still don't see a lot of them. The first thing is that for junior developers, it will be quite difficult to get a job,
Yeah.
because what they are doing can be replaced with AI. So yes, this is the first thing.
So are the junior developers extinct? Meaning, like, let's go even from where do the junior developer come from? How does someone become a junior developer nowadays?
They
Is
just
it university? Is it boot camps, online camps? Like, what's
they just
the?
want to develop. I think that's it, because when they're going to university, they're selecting like where to go, and maybe they're selected another profession, but at some point they decide to
Would you?
to be
I
developers.
guess would you say, like, what's your perspective on the universities, and are they lagging behind? Are they doing something wrong? Like the technology has evolved so far ahead, and the educational system has lagged so far behind. Like, what's your take on this one?
I don't have a good answer here, because from my point of view, the educational system is far behind, unfortunately, especially schools. I don't know how they're going to solve this problem, because I don't have the solution for them. Because they're the homeworks, for example, at schools, people will do this with AI, and I cannot blame them, because they're
Because it's
because
easy.
I would do the same.
Yeah,
I
it's
would do
easy.
the
People
same.
would just pick what's easy.
Yeah. So and the schools now, it's the schools' problem how to deal with that. Yeah, and schools, like just see how schools looked 100 years ago and now. There are quite a lot of similarities.
Would you
What was there, and then look at the world in general.
would you say it's better how it was, or it's better how
No,
it
no,
gets now?
I'm saying that it hasn't changed a lot through the century. The
No, no.
schools.
What I mean is the problem they have at hand, which is raising the younger generation.
Mhm.
Would you say it's better now, or it was better before, when we didn't have that many AI tools and whatnot, and have this sense of accomplishing things faster, easier?
I don't know about better. I think the life is getting better like all the time.
Yeah, but
In cases
people.
of war, yeah, yes, it's a war is a bad example, but I mean there is a progress, and I still believe in the progress. And yes, sometimes now people are saying that okay, they will lose lots of skills because of the computers, because of AI, and I'm saying, but okay, but in past people also lost lots of skills of how you were writing things, and now we're saying like people are not writing by hands lot of things right now. They're not used to writing with the hand, and I'm asking like, but do we really need this skill? Maybe we don't need it. How we abandoned lots of skills that were before, and now you don't need them. You just don't need
Do
them.
you think?
So I'm quite optimist here. So
Yeah,
I think it's getting better, and now people can do the homework with AI. Okay, but the schools, the educational system should change, and they should give them the tasks that they should invent how to deal with that. So they should also keep up with the today's students.
Yeah. So like I'm more on the more pessimistic side, I guess, and
Right.
I would say, I don't know, AI is being trained on data, and the
Mm-hmm.
data we used to have until the AI boom was relatively high quality data, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we don't, we had some input before that. Now we don't no longer have input. Now the
Mm-hmm.
input will become AI's output, if that makes sense. So to what extent AI will kind of flatten and people actually will become dumber, like in the literal sense of the word?
The shorter answer is I don't know.
Yeah.
I still believe that it's trained on the data, on documentation, and now we can have the better documentation because of AI. So I was seeing this as a positive loop,
Yeah.
that the data can become
No, the self
better.
correction, yeah,
But
that makes
maybe
sense.
with AI we can have better data, and with better data we will have better AI.
I meant more
I
like
still believe in
I
this.
meant more like in an innovative way. So until the AI boom, we had
Hmm.
innovation, like lots
Yeah.
of brainstorms, ideas, project frameworks,
Hmm.
and whatnot. Now a lot of that output, which used to be done by people, is
Hmm.
being done by AI. So
Hmm.
to what extent that output is a new output, which can then generate new solutions and new innovation?
Well, let's see. For example, if you're fighting with cancer, I mean, you are trying to you have a tool that is trying to find a formula that will fight with cancer.
Yeah.
Let's say, yeah, to simplify things. And before that, you had to manually, or even with some computing power, to do lots of operations to check if this formula works, if this formula can kill cancer, if this can do this. Now with AI you can do this faster. So and this is kind of innovation. For you need to find the exact formula. To find the exact formula you need to check lots of variations, right? And now you can do this faster and better. So, and this can be an innovation, so you can find the thing that can fight with cancer quickly
Yeah, but that's
with
more,
AI.
I would argue that's more on the automation side. So there's, I guess, solutions that require automation, and we used to do them manually.
Hmm.
And there's solution that requires thinking out of the box, which my position is AI cannot do, because it already thinks within the box, because the input which was fed to it was from the box, which were created by people. So yeah, I guess we share different opinions, but I obviously am thankful and appreciative of the AI content and tools and whatnot.
I still think that with the investments that we have now in AI,
Yeah,
it will become better. So it's unfortunately,
yeah,
it's or
inevitably.
fortunately,
Yeah,
it's not you or me who will do this revolution with AI, because there are big companies who are doing that. What I want to do, I want to use their results and make them a commodity for other people. For example, yeah, I'm not building. We're not building our own Chat GPT or Claude or whatever,
correct,
but
correct.
we're using them. For example, with the engine AI as well, we're using them under the hood, but to give something good for you as a developer. So what I want, I I'm not into making AI better, but I am in using AI better and to make it help
Yeah,
people. So
that makes sense.
that's the idea. That's the thing that we want to promote. And I think that it's really like development, software development as human is a manual labor is going to die.
Yeah, I guess I tend to think that everyone's catching the train, the AI train, but the way you say it, it's like a lot of companies are still really old school and doing things manually,
Well,
which I
mhm.
guess is the case because like there's even a saying that progress is everywhere, it's just not evenly distributed.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think that I'm not saying you should like adopt everything. You see something and you okay, we should implement this like right now.
Yeah.
But at some point, we just understood that to from our understanding, AI will evolve, and this kind of AI automated or AI assisted, AI powered development will be there. Now it's not perfect, but it will become better and better without our support. So we start to prepare all the internal processes of how to use that now, because when it's more or less good or much better than it is right now, we are ready. And we don't want to be there with those companies who are saying like, when it will program better, then we will start using that.
Yeah.
We want to we want to start thinking
Prepare the
in a
fields.
new way. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's also like prepare our the way we're thinking and what we're doing before it happens.
Yeah, this is a really interesting topic. Like, we can discuss this forever, I would suppose. We have opposing views and directions, but we also agree on many things. But since we touched on the educational system,
Mhm.
I guess I wanted to challenge your process, your thinking process a little bit. So let's imagine you were this the second day tomorrow. You were the prime minister of the country.
Mhm.
What are the top 3 changes? I know you don't want to be in that position.
I don't want to be there.
And what are your top 3, I guess, changes for the IT sector, for the tech industry, so that you, like, I believe you have some beliefs and you think that there's some things going wrong in the IT industry,
Mhm.
and there's some things you can improve. So what are the top 3 things you would, I guess, do?
I don't want to look like a stupid optimist, even if I am. But I think that IT, like what is happening right now in IT in Moldova, is quite good. Like the IT park law that we have, I think it's great. Sometimes when we're discussing with the Association of IT Companies of what should be improved, my best answer usually is, please just leave as it is. Do not touch, do not change anything. Like, please.
That's
like,
such a good piece of advice for anyone who wants to be a politician. Just leave it as it is. Yeah.
Something works, and let's have there. What I want to improve, I can tell you, as a prime minister or as a ministry of whatever, economy and digitalization, how they call it. So the laws that we have, that they are great. I love them. What can be improved? I can tell you. Now, for example, if I want to give shares, I'm a limited company, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
as SRL, and I want to give shares to another company, to another person, it's going to the legal guy and separating, giving percent. So there's no mechanism for giving shares to others. But I can do this by creating a company in Estonia.
Yeah.
And I can give shares. So why Estonia is a good example? Because I have the e-citizenship in Estonia, and I have several companies created in Estonia. And from the taxation point of view, I don't like what's going on there. But what I like is that I can create a company not even going to Estonia. I can do everything, and I can give shares in the company that I've created without a complexity. So this is the first thing, and this is why the one of the reasons why our investors are not investing in Moldovan companies, because for me to give shares is not possible.
Yeah.
I know they're working in this direction, but it's still not here. So this is the first thing. And the second thing, currently we're not a part of the European Union. So for some investors, that's an issue, that they are not investing in Moldova, because for them it's a black box. They don't know Moldova, what's there. I will invest and they will just disappear. But I don't want to discuss this European Union stuff. But still, this is an issue right now sometimes, and this was the reason why we created, for our startups, we created Estonian companies. And sometimes when you hear that Moldovan company got investment, you should look further. Very often it's an Estonian company created by Moldovans that got.
Yeah, it's an umbrella company to avoid, I guess, to bypass laws and stuff.
We're doing this just because those companies will not invest in Moldovan company, because not a part of the European Union, and we cannot give shares to them. There is no like simple way how to do that.
Yeah.
There, I can electronically, whatever, give them shares in exchange for their investment. So I think this is like for a startup world. I think this kind of with shares, and also, for example, if I want to give shares to my employees without going to be a public company, right? So Endava, for example, they are a public company, and they can give shares. But I'm not public company.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not going
that's
to
what
be
I
a
wanted
public
to ask.
company.
Is since you mentioned the limited company, they're not supposed to be able to.
But in Estonia, I can. That's
Yeah,
that's the thing. I can give. I can easily give shares to my employees. Here, I cannot give shares and all those stuff with cliffs, with whatever the story is about the investment and about sharing giving shares to employees. This is not possible here. I need to go and give a part of the company.
Yeah.
And this is not the thing I want to do. And they even sometimes they need to pay for this part of the company. So it's complicated process right now in Moldova. I want it to be easier, and there is also such a thing as phantom shares. And once again, in phantom shares, I cannot give phantom shares in Moldova, and I want this process to be here. But in the rest, just
Don't touch.
don't touch it.
All right. Yeah, that's a really really good. You'd be a really great prime minister, although people wouldn't be able to tell what you did.
Yeah. Well, but I was telling about the technology sector, but
Yeah.
in other sectors, I guess there are a lot of things to do. But I really wish that Moldova will be focused on Moldova as much as possible, and we can become a great hub. And I still believe in Moldova.
Yeah, I guess. There's more questions on the future AI and whatnot. Maybe we'll have time for that too. But I guess I wanted to dive maybe more into business related questions.
Mhm.
So you mentioned clients before, and the fact that you and your brother had like clients before you opened your company and whatnot. So I guess my question is, we talked a lot about FusionWorks and the fact that you're the CEO and whatnot, but like I was wondering, to what extent do you have your own clients and you're doing like outsourcing and outstaffing and whatnot, and to what extent you have your own products? Like,
Yeah.
what's the percentage there?
Yeah, so that's the question that we touched before. That at some point FusionWorks was doing outsourcing, outstaffing, and startups. Now we have this as separate things. So startups are Estonian companies, and FusionWorks is doing only software for our customers in the Western Europe and in the United States.
Yeah, to what percentage? Like, let's say all entities aside, to what extent you're doing outsourcing and outstaffing, and to what extent you have your own products?
Outsourcing and outstaffing, it's still, I think the percentage differs, but I think it's kind of 80% is still in outsourcing, outstaffing. But now the engine AI I mentioned also, it's our, like, let's say startup that we're doing, and we have others. But the economic engine is still in the in outsourcing and outstaffing.
Yeah.
So the main budgets, the main revenue is still there.
Since you mentioned that, and I guess you're the person who's talking with the clients a lot, I would assume. Like, have you ever had the situation where you refuse a client, and what would be the reason? Why would you refuse a client?
I don't remember. Like we're not refusing before we start working. We can refuse them only if they are doing something illegal.
Okay.
This is the thing. We can do any kind of software if it's legal. That's the simple answer. The other stuff, the other thing is that we had at some point, we had a previous office. We had a big whiteboard with different thoughts and all this stuff. And behind my brother's chair, there was an inscription: "Fire bad clients," because in that whiteboard we had different thoughts that were like different things that we're using on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And there was fire bad clients. The funny thing is that when he was talking to someone with a camera, they usually were saying the fire bad clients things.
Yeah.
And one of the clients, he said like, "Hope this is not about me." And by the way, we fired that client at some point because he understood, he felt like sometimes something is wrong. So that's why, because he was the only person who asked about that inscription. So yes, we can fire bad client. I can.
So is it only legal reasons, or
for legal reasons? That's definitely, because sometimes it happened when you're working with a client and client starts to talk directly to developers in terms of working
like
directly
stealing
with them.
developers.
Stealing developers. That's and the great thing is the developers are coming to us and they're telling that he wants to work directly with us.
Yeah.
And for us, it's always a stop.
Yeah, like typically that's an
stop.
NDA violation.
It's violation of whatever. So I cannot trust anymore that client. So in this case, yes, that's all. It's over. The other thing is that if the client behaves so unprofessionally, that the team gets demotivated absolutely. So they're down, they're burned out just because that client who has like this, I don't know, who can shout at people or whatever. So we can, when we fired clients for this reason as well. So when we see that we're getting money, but the team, they will just leave the company because of that client. We talk to the client. It's not like you're firing immediately, but you talk to them. But if it's not helping, yes. If you can't fine tune this thing, in this case, yes.
So when working with clients, is the client always right?
No. No, there is no such thing like the client is right, or
because in many businesses the client is always right, and they just shit on you, on your employees, and you will just accept that. So my question is, in your case, is the client always right?
Employees are very important. People are very important to us, and we're saying we're a people-centric company. For now, not AI-centric. It's human or people-centric.
Yeah.
And so we can say the team is an asset as well, and the client is an asset, right? And if people will just leave the company, because we're in technological business, it's not working like in many other spheres. Where I know that employers can behave bad, the clients may shout at the at people, and employees are okay with that because they don't know where to go. There, I don't know, for some reason they still stay there. In technological business, it's not like this. People will just say, okay, I just go to another company, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we know that, but not only because of that, but we respect our teams. And if there is an issue with the customer, and the customer says something, and the employee, I'm always saying, I will talk to our employees. We are talking, and we're trying to find what's happening there.
So
it's not client always right.
Yeah, you mentioned that the developers can leave for the competition. Speaking of the competition, I was wondering, as an IT company, how do you stay relevant, especially in 2025, when there's so much competition and it's quite crazy out there?
Competition? You mean
competition between IT companies?
Between IT companies.
Yeah. How do you stay relevant as an IT company? Because there's many IT companies that start and then they close. Mm-hmm. Or maybe they start, they have a client, and then they have a bunch of bench, and they need to fire a bunch of developers, and then inevitably their reputation is burned.
I have a short and easy answer. Do not compete. I will explain. Like, competition is bad. It's an awful thing. I hate competition. And the thing is, what you should do, you should play on the market where there is not such a huge competition. I can explain, like, you're an IT company. There are lots of IT companies. Okay, with whom are you competing? Yeah, am I competing with Indian companies? I will not compete with the price. I will just say, if I'm talking to a German company, I will just tell them that we speak your language, even not if it's not German, it's English, but we can easily speak English with you. First thing, we can fly to you, you can fly to us very quickly, and we have the European mindset. And yeah, you can see our portfolio, you can see what we did, and we're more or less in the same time zone. And in this case, I stop competing with Indian developers, because if it's relevant for this client that people are Europeans, they can fly easily with no visas to their place, and they can fly here. There is no time difference between us. In this case, they will select us. If you are fighting with other, for example, the German company can also select a German company. In this case, you can compete with them with the rates. And actually, you have better rates than local developers. So once again, you're not competing. You're just better than them with these rates.
Also, speaking of rates, yeah, I was wondering, in your company, do you have 5x or 10x developers? And what's the primary reason why you keep them? Because they are a big investment, as you mentioned, when it comes to salaries.
You mean 5x, like with the people with
5x investment in terms of financial investment? There's a guy, like, I'm just wondering if there's because every company has their like core guy who like keeps the processes in place, keeps a balance and a check. So do you have such guys, like 5x, 10x guys, and they're quite valuable, and you cannot not that you cannot get rid of them, but it's so valuable to the company that you would. Yeah.
Sure. We give them. You can call it A players or core team, whatever. Yeah. So we definitely we have them. We respect them, and they respect us. And with them, we worked for many years. And for example, if there is a like a developer and we have a contract, the contract ends, we are not firing this developer because he's super valuable for us, and he will stay in the company as long as it's possible. So basically, yeah, definitely we value them.
So when it comes to IT companies, since you're more in the, let's say, leadership/management position, I'm curious, what's some of the shady business that's going on there and nobody wants to talk about? Is there anything shady going on with IT companies?
With IT company right now?
Yeah, like from your experience. Stuff that's political that happens behind the scenes that developers don't necessarily see.
I don't know. Any shady things in our IT? Because like I think more like I think almost all the companies they like work absolutely transparent. If you can give me an example, what should get what can
I don't know,
happen?
stealing of employees from each other and things like that.
Well, our legislation, the stealing of developers is absolutely approved. So you can just go and make an offer to a developer, and we don't have the.
I know certain companies have like agreements that we do not steal yours, you do not steal ours, and things like that.
That's the thing. Yeah, talking about shady things, I remember many years ago there was an initiative between CEOs. So let's get together, let's gather at cups of coffee, let's discuss the developers, let's have a blacklist of developers. But this is absolutely the thing I will never join. Right? There were such kind of initiatives.
Yeah.
I don't think they survived. Between companies, there may be an agreement, but the thing is that we don't have slavery. That's a good thing, and we cannot tell the developer that he cannot join other company. But the companies may have an agreement that I cannot hire a developer from your company. They can have.
Yeah.
We don't have this kind of things. We have some friendly companies with whom we are trying not to do that, but we don't have any legal.
Do you have enemy companies?
Things.
Do you have enemy companies on the local market? Like, I don't know,
why
dicks that
enemy?
You hate or whatever.
There are people whom I don't like,
yeah.
and companies that I don't like. For us, I can tell you
because it's a natural like why I asked about competition. Competition is only natural, and it happens with IT companies. And you might be a threat or a competition to another company. So
yeah. But once again, get me right that competition is a bad thing, because when you compete with someone, you spend a lot of effort in competing, and sometimes it's just.
I mean, you inevitably compete, whether you want to admit that you're competing or not.
We're trying not to compete. I can tell you. I can tell you why. For example, we have an ISO certification, and this means that I am already not competing with for data security and for quality management, and I'm already not competing with other companies. With other companies who are, for example, if there is a customer who needs a company with ISO certification for data security, they don't have it. I have it already. Competition. I'm already not competing.
Yeah, but you could say you crushed your competition, but you're still competing in that sense.
And for example, we're the organizers of the biggest developer conference in the country. There is no other company who is doing that. And if for the customer, because we met the customers and we have the customers for whom this was important, because they say like, okay, you contribute to the community and you're here to stay. We think that you're reliable because you're doing this conference.
Correct.
And there is no other company who can say that. And
but you say it in a sense that we don't compete by elimination of the competition.
Yes, right. And there is a book called the Blue Ocean Strategy. Actually, you're creating your own blue ocean for this. So that's our idea. We're trying not to compete. And talking about the companies that I may not like other companies because there may be people whom I don't like, but it's my personal thing. That's
correct.
Okay. I'm not spending my emotions and my time to fight with someone if I don't know why I should do that.
Correct.
But I can tell you that we have our manifesto in the company. We said that we're build a no bullshit company. And this eventually it appeared because I was I had some business, let's say, with one company, and I was deeply involved in what's happening there, and I realized how much bullshit is there. And after that, we created this manifesto because I realized I saw the company whom I don't want to be like. I never want to be like like this company. I saw this from inside,
Yeah.
and then we realized that what should our company look like?
So speaking of that, can you maybe elaborate on what are, let's say, three things? What are three things that companies mess up? IT companies, they do wrong, and as a result, their developers leave. They have a toxic culture and things like that. And last but not least, if you can describe your company culture using 3 words.
If talking about our company, like three, yes, actually it's 3 words, but they are compound.
Yeah. Aside from the word bullshit,
it is no bullshit. Yeah, we build a no
Yeah.
bullshit company. It's tech oriented, people centric, and learning driven. So that's the 3 things.
Yeah.
Where we have lots of values that we value. Yeah, but given the short answer, what other companies are, sometimes we as well, that are doing wrong is maybe not talking too much to people, to developers, because and having the people as resource.
Yeah.
Like it's my resource. It's not your resources actually, because the resources can they have 2 legs and they can just walk away. It's not about like it's my resource. It's here, right? This can be my resource because it's not going to leave me. But the team they can.
So you need to keep like a hand on their pulse in a way. And a lot of companies don't do that.
You should talk to them, and if you want something to be done, because this is also a tricky thing with AI assisted development. If you just come to people and say you will use just AI assisted development, you should use AI. That's it. That's my decision. That's wrong. You should talk to them. You should know their perspective.
Correct.
You should understand. They should leave your idea. Like they should understand your idea, and it should become their idea as well. In this case, you can work together. And this is, by the way, we created our own tool again, just because to show our commitment to that and why we're doing that. So we are to show that we're not just saying that we're doing AI assisted development, but we invest time and money into doing our own tool, and we're engaging other team members in creating this tool. So you're engaging them so to make your idea their idea, if they agree. Some of them they may not agree, and eventually they may leave the company. That's okay. Like you should get the right people on the bus and the wrong people out of the bus. That's also it's not my words. It's from another company.
It's a good approach.
It's from good to great. Yeah.
It's a good approach.
It's from another book.
I guess when it comes to companies, mistakes they make and whatnot, like what would be, given on all your knowledge and experience, what would be your number one recommendation for somebody wanting to start an IT company? Does it make sense to start an IT company in 2025? Should you join a new one? And what are the things you should pay attention to, like mistakes you should not make that will probably cause your loss in the company and whatever you're building?
The main thing here is that do it step by step. So there are not that many companies who are just like, okay, and then you are successful tomorrow. It's just doing disciplined action. You're going in the direction where you want to be, step by step. It may require much time doing that. You're just keeping up doing this if you really want this. It's not about like there was also a question like should I become a developer, or in this case also should I become a CEO? I don't know actually. You should feel it. If you want to become a developer, if you're interested in development, you should go there. If you want to be CEO, if you know how many problems you will get, I have a nice presentations. People, you can go to a YouTube channel, my YouTube channel called Fusion.
Yeah, I will link it in the in the description.
And then see there, I have a presentation called "Being a CEO Sucks." So I think they just should watch this 55-minute video.
So I guess maybe the inverse question of what I'm trying to ask is, why do businesses fail? Why do companies fail?
There are lots of reasons to.
Like, what are the top 3 ones, for example?
Sometimes they give up quite early. That's the thing. You just don't have money. Once I've heard, like, the biggest thing, the most important thing as a CEO you should do, you should be sure you have money. Like, you're not running out of money. So sometimes you're doing some stuff and you're running out of money. You just don't have money for your business to stay there, and that's it. So I think the first thing is that you don't care about money. You don't understand how money works.
Does it have to do with the fact that you're like a lot of, let's be all the way honest, a lot of the IT sector is around 80% is doing outsource. So given that it's in a quite fragile state, clients can always leave. You can always mess up the relationship with the client. So does it have to do with that? And I guess I want to segue my next question into asking, at what point you as an IT company who's had some activity on the market is moving towards having your own products?
That's the usual story of an IT outsourcing company is that you have your team, you have your contracts, you have your customers. At some point, customers, like, okay, the project may scale down a little bit, so they may remove some people from the contract, and you get people on the bench. And when you have people on the bench, you have like 2 ways. You may either fire those people or give them a task, and it's not about like something abstract, but something that they should also feel that they're doing something, they're creating something. And in this case, when you have your own ideas of a startup, you just use that development power to do your own startup. So that's a traditional way how startups inside the outsourcing company appear. They just need to do tasks to their
I never thought of this in this creative way, because usually when people sit too much on bench, and I wanted to ask you about bench, but usually when people sit too much on bench, they end up being fired. That's the most cases.
Sometimes they want to be fired. They leave the company because they say, like, okay, even if you pay me a salary, but I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
The best day at work for me is then when I have lots of tasks and I did all of them.
So when it comes to bench, how do you avoid having as much bench as possible, or you don't even care? If you have bench, you find startup ideas.
It's not working like this because you were still spending money.
Correct.
And we spend a lot of money. So once again, you will keep the core people for sure. And the other people, sometimes you may say, like, okay, I'm sorry, I don't have any contract, and we're trying not to do that. We're doing our best not to do that. But at some point, you should have a discussion with the developer or whatever, with your employee, that you don't have any other projects, and you should end up the agreement.
Being a CEO obviously is it's quite a responsibility. I guess my next question would be, what makes you, I don't know, a hard to deal with leader? Can you be hard to deal with sometimes? Like, what are some of the negatives on that side, I would say?
I'm trying to be a good person, but the idea is sometimes actually sometimes I'm too focused on some routine stuff it may happen, and people are saying, like, okay, we have these kind of ideas, and I'm saying, like, no, we need to focus on this. We should have this structured, because I want things to be structured, and sometimes when there is a chaos, that's not the thing I'm comfortable with. So I guess in these cases, when chaos is positive, I guess in these cases I'm a bit useless. When everything should be structured, I'm a good person to be there. But
I can relate.
But usually I'm trying to be like, I'm talking to everyone. It's not like there's a person who inside the company who cannot come to me any time and discuss something.
So you mentioned bench time and the fact that you sometimes had to use your developers for creating new products. I'm like more on the product side. I'm wondering if you had any products that were close to failure and they turned out to be a success.
We had a lot of products that failed.
Yeah. No, that's expected.
Well, we had the reincarnations of
Yeah.
the project. There was a project that was like, okay, we were investing lots of development, but yeah, it was not bringing us money, and we're pivoted it and made a plugin for weeks.
Do you contribute to open source as a company?
I need to consult the CTO about that because as far as I know,
Yeah.
not that much. But if you check my LinkedIn or LinkedIn of Gennady, of our CTO, you will find a lot of stuff that
you mentioned
sharing
plugins and stuff being maybe not ended up as a product, but you ended up reusing some of that stuff. So I was wondering if maybe some of the code you wrote as part of a product which did not succeed maybe became public and ended up being open source and whatnot.
That's not the thing we're focused on right now.
I guess more on that. What's your? I'm just curious, since you're also a developer and part of the PHP world. What's your opinion on what WordPress did with their license? If you heard about that,
probably not.
Yeah, they did they tried to change their license so that because they saw that there's so many users and there's so much lost revenue, they wanted to address their license so that people that have a certain amount of revenue above a certain threshold, they would pay them or whatever. And they received a huge backlash because of that.
This happened recently, right?
It happened a few months ago, I think. Yeah.
I was not into that.
Yeah.
We had our landing pages are on WordPress. I may consult with our WordPress developers, but yeah, personally, I was not involved in that, so I don't have any opinion.
Yeah, that was funny to watch, but at the same time painful for the businesses that had a lot of revenue because their products were based on WordPress.
I don't like. I can tell you what I don't like. I don't like when the game rules are changing.
Correct, during the game.
During the game.
Yeah.
This is also we're asking about the prime minister stuff, and that's it. And this usually what I don't like in politics as well, when there is some taxation, I don't know, and then the other party comes and says okay, we will do this differently, and lots of businesses were based on this kind of business model, and then it changes. So
it's unstable for the business.
Yes, I don't like instability and
no business
disorder.
No business does, I would say.
So the same thing here, and this also may be the issue with AI, that sometimes some companies, they predict that the amount that you pay now to AI, it will grow substantially. Like Uber, when Uber appeared, the rides were quite cheap. Now it's absolutely different story. So the same here. For example, if you're paying to, I don't know, ChatGPT, 20-25 euros per month, and you can replace, let's say, it's not working like this, but let's say it replaces a developer whom you pay, I don't know, 2-3k euros.
I mean, it's the classical request demand. If there's a request, there's a increase in price,
and now it's there. So the idea is that it will go higher.
I think it's there for the wrong reasons. It's there for the tech bros, for the people that are overhyping and over promoting this. It's eventually going to settle. That's my personal opinion. That we're on the downfall. Like the hype train started a few years ago, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, and the hype train is slowly descending. And as it descends, then the tools will settle, and we will have stable tools that work, that are getting better and better and better. But at the same time, I'm trying to say is this hype is going off a little bit.
Yeah, but the prices, will they go up? Because if
I don't think so.
If a $20 tool can
I don't think so.
Can replace a 3K developer,
I don't think it will increase the price because there's too much competition. There's a lot of companies that rise up to the scene, including Chinese companies like DeepSeek, which revolutionized the scene and make other expensive companies look like shit.
Yeah, but they will go up together.
Like when DeepSeek model got released, I think the Nvidia stocks went down by a lot.
Yes, but they got back. The thing is, don't look always at the stock market because it went down, but then it went up.
No, the demand is there. I do agree with that. But at the same time, I think the competition is also there, and countries are racing for who's going to be the leader in the AI market. And by them being in the this constant race, it creates a lot of opportunities for many companies, and as a result, it demonopolizes the marketplace.
Let's see. I still think that the prices for these tools will go up because
what you're saying, I guess, comes in a package with monopolization. So when you monopolize the market in a certain domain, then you not only have you're not only it doesn't only make sense to use it because you're the only one, but also there's nobody else you can compete against, and nobody else can say anything to you because you're the only one. But in this case, there's a lot of competition, and I think it's going to go. I mean, I think it's going to stay stable or even cheaper.
I can explain what I meant here, because when it's competition, right? But if all the competitors are not gaining, they have losses, like all of them, because they are investing in the volume, but not in the profit. Like they want to have more requests, more users, but they are not getting profits. And if this happens to all the competitors, at some point they will just raise the bar and they will ask more, even if there is competition. Just if you take, for example, Moldovan market of taxi services. If you remember, many years ago, it was quite cheap, right? And then the new players came and they were fighting with, when the new players were coming, they were having the cheap prices. But now they grew up substantially.
It's because of the request, yeah.
Like not only because of the request. They just, and they went together up all the taxi services.
I mean, there's also cartel agreements which happen behind the scenes and we don't know about.
Sometimes they cannot just survive with the low prices.
In these kind of businesses, I would argue there's like cartel agreements which are prohibited by law, but they happen in real life. So
they may have, and they still here may have this thing. But I agree with you. What happens usually with the technology and with the adoption to technology, like the technology, like the hype is going there, and the real adoption or the reality is also growing, but not that fast. And then it comes back to reality, but still the technology is still growing. So yes, our maybe expectation of what will happen when the ChatGPT 5 was released, there were expectations, and then we realized many people are saying it's a piece of crap, right? Like it's not better than it was before.
I was never, I guess, bullish on that because I'm not. I mean, I am bullish on AI in general, but I am not bullish to the extent that people are. That it's gonna be a wow event. Yeah, it's gonna change things. It's gonna make us more performant in a way. At the same time, to what extent is it gonna replace developers? Let's be honest. Yeah, maybe it will replace people that weren't doing that good of a job anyway. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's only going to make the best of us even better.
Well, I will keep saying this directly.
Yeah.
That AI will not replace developers for now, but people with AI will replace the other developers. That's the thing I believe in. Not AI replacing people, but people with AI replacing other people who are saying, I will not use that. And when it says like AI makes mistakes, I'm also saying people also make mistakes. But the thing is that with people, we're okay. We can blame the person. We can punish this person. We're like, okay, I can do this. So that's why I will rely on the person. But when AI makes mistakes, we're like, wow. It's like with autonomous driving, right? Lots of people, when driving, kill other people. But when it's an autonomous car, scratching a person, wow, we go to court, whatever.
Yeah.
This is a bad technology. But it is going to replace other people who are making much more shit there. So
that's true. There's the human factor, obviously, but at the same time, I guess we're more judgmental when it comes to a technology that's marketed as perfect and replacing humans. Of course, there's always going to be resentment towards that.
Which I should acknowledge that it's not perfect. I'm not saying, even if I'm AI positive, looks like COVID positive, right? AI positive, the new COVID, right? AI is the new COVID. Yeah. I'm AI positive. It doesn't mean I'm saying it's perfect. It's not at all.
No, it's not.
But it will be not perfect, but it will be much better.
Yeah, I like to be a realist. Like I am thankful for what it is. At the same time, I know what it isn't. And if it's going to become what it isn't yet, then that's cool. If it's not, I will still be relevant and will still be creative by solving business problems using software and whatever the solutions are for using that software. So more on I guess one more question I wanted to ask. but it slipped through, is can you maybe share a mistake that you've made by running your company which almost got it killed?
Yeah, sure. Bad financial planning. If you're not having a safety cushion, or you're just because there was a time when I was like me and Gennady were as co-founders, were investing our own money for the company to keep running. That was many years ago. That's a good thing. But yes, because this thing can kill a company, so you should watch your finance.
Yeah,
That's for sure, and you should reinvest smart in a smart way. Reinvest the profits when you're getting that. This It's not about like, okay, we have a profit, let's just take everything and go and buy a beautiful car that will just go down in price for the next
correct. Yeah, this is the
years.
funny part.
Cars are the worst investments. I love cars, but still is the worst
Yeah, this is
investment
the
in the
funny
world.
part. People like spend their time, which is irrecoverable,
Hmm.
in exchange for money, which is limited, but in a sense doesn't have value. It loses value over time, to buy an asset which loses even more value since the moment you bought it. So yeah, it even more doesn't make sense if you buy the brand new car,
Hmm.
because not only is it depreciating in value, but you're actually using money that you've exchanged and traded for your time, which you cannot
Hmm.
get back, which is sad at the same time. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So once again, watch your numbers.
yeah, maybe one more scenario
Hmm.
about, because I'm really like curious how you run your company and like everything that goes into business. So uh let's say tomorrow you lost everything.
Hmm.
You lost your company, you
Hmm.
lost your clients, you lost your business partners, you lost
Hmm.
all of that. You have
Hmm.
your brother, yourself.
Hmm.
What do you do to make a comeback? The only thing you can keep is your mindset.
Okay,
Everything else
and my
is lost.
family is with me, right?
Yeah, your family, your
That's a good
mindset,
thing.
everything else is lost. What is your top 3 to 5 steps to make a comeback?
Well, I can create another company, right? If
Yeah,
if
but
if, if it's
that's not
possible.
gonna bring all the clients and everything.
Yeah, but I can just start step by step. So first of all, like, to be prepared for that, you should have your, once again, safety cushion also in the life. Because why usually you go to work and you create a company? Okay, you want to do something great, blah blah blah, but also you need money for your living, right? So the first thing, if you live, if you or your company is lost, everything is lost. I want to be sure that I have money for, I don't know, another year to live, so that I can like focus on things, and I can step by step create them. If I need money just tomorrow, that's another story. If I have money to live, because I'm trying to keep my personal finance in a good shape, so that, like, if I lose everything, I still have time
Yeah,
to
yeah.
to to do something. So once again, I think I will still uh try to do the same thing I was doing before. But if the question is, if I sell everything,
No, you don't
what
sell.
should
You
I do?
lose it. Let's say, I don't know, something catastrophic happens. I can't really name what exactly should happen, because obviously you're not stupid. You're gonna make adjustments in the strategy to
Hmm.
not lose it.
Yeah, we have our business continuity
But
plan.
more on that, I wanted to ask you a question and whether you agree with the following statement.
Hmm.
If, let's say, tomorrow we take the entire world's wealth and
Hmm.
we evenly
Hmm.
distribute it across everyone,
Hmm.
uh, do you believe that the people that are at the top 1 to 3% would be able to, in at most 5 to 10 years, to get it back?
Hmm.
So if everyone gets the same amount
Hmm.
of wealth, we
Hmm.
distribute to everyone equally, and we only keep the mindset to
Hmm.
those people that had, let's say, more
Hmm.
money. Do you agree that those people will be able to, in at most 5 to 10 years, to get it all back?
Absolutely, I
Yeah.
can tell you why. Because if you give, like, in what I believe not only in the, like, let's say, money that you have right now. I believe in your the person's ability to earn money, or to do stuff. And if you give money to a poor person who doesn't understand what to do with that money, that money will get back to the
Yeah,
smart people who know how to earn them.
Yeah,
That's the idea.
I like what Elon Musk said with like the fixing poverty. If you spend $2 billion fixing poverty, the same $2 billion will land into the pockets of the
Right.
billionaires, because a poor person has a poor person's mentality.
Right. Sometimes they can be. So I'm not saying the poor person is not smart. There are lots of smart people who are poor just because like you can make a bad decision in your life, which or something, as you mentioned, catastrophic can happen. So, but they will gain back their wealth. I think so. So I'm not saying poor people, because I'm not judging people in terms of money they have. My idea is that, yeah, if you give a money to a person who doesn't know what to do with that money, he will buy an expensive car. From whom? From the company created by the other person. So
Correct.
the money will go back.
So the
and
cycle
then
goes.
the car valuation will go down. So I think it will rebalance. So I'm not for I'm not a communist person. Like I don't like this idea of like just giving everyone
No, this
money,
was more. This is more an experiment,
like a mental experiment. So,
a mental experiment, so that people realize that it's not even about what you have; it's about your mental, which brings you and gets you to what you have and what you can have in the future.
Definitely, it's your ability,
And your mind is your biggest asset. A lot of people don't even realize that.
It is.
Like you trade your, let's say, your asset, your mind, as a developer especially, you trade your mind, which is a main asset, for money, which is in a way an asset which is also depreciating. But the point is that I'm trying to make, that this is the biggest investment you will ever be able to make. Like you can survive I don't know, layoffs, crisis, but what you invest in your mind, it will make you relevant over time.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. So do you was wondering, what's your, I guess, source of passion? Do you have a like a hero, a mentor, somebody that you aspire towards or admire?
Well, not one particular person.
Yeah.
So for each direction, it can be my parents, it can be my wife, my brother, my children, or other like business people. So it's not like one role model that I like. So it depends on because I'm playing lots of roles in a good sense of this expression, like different things doing in my life. And in different directions, I have different, let's say, mentors. I don't have a dedicated mentor, unfortunately. I wish I had like a mentor. Maybe sometimes I will have, for example, in business, so one person to whom I will talk. But I talk just to a lot of people, and
more
you're
like
getting some ideas there, and the best source of these of knowledge for me are books and experience. That's it.
Speaking of books,
Books
I
and
was
experience.
I was gonna follow up with a question. If you read books, and what would be your number one recommendation for people wanting to get into business, or not even business? Let's say it's personal life, improving your soft skills and whatnot. What would be your number one recommendation?
I'm reading books. I try to. I'm not like reading like a lot of books, but I'm constantly either reading or listening to them.
Yeah.
And I divide them into groups. The ones that I think I need to like thoroughly read, I read them, and I'm making notes, highlights. I have a system for reading books. I'm reading books in the Kindle. I have highlights. Then highlights goes to special file. In that file, I once again I reread all of them, and then all the ideas I get from the book, I spread between different documents where I have like these are the thoughts about life, like private life, about business, about negotiations, about whatever. So, and I'm then dividing them into those documents, and then I reread those documents from time to time and I'm also implementing those ideas.
So what's the book recommendation then?
There are lots of them. It depends.
Just name one.
Like I love, this is a quite widespread book. I love the book. I think this is because there are some books who are too specific. I love them, but they're too specific. But for example, Seven Habits by Stephen Covey, I think this is like one of the foundation books you need to read and to understand the I don't know. Like for me, it was even if I was doing lots of things from that book. For me, it was like it was laying a foundation of how I think. And sometimes, thinking like, okay, I'm not alone with these ideas. And sometimes you are like, okay, that's a new idea.
Yeah.
So Seven Habits by Stephen Covey. If we're talking about business, I think Good to Great is a very good book. If we're talking about negotiations, it's negotiating to yes, is, if I'm not mistaken, about the because I read this one in Russian. Sometimes I read books in Russian, sometimes in English. So I basically I had lots of them, and if you want, guys, if you're watching this video, I will leave in the comments. I will leave the books that I like the most.
We have a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So aside from reading, is there like first of all, how much free time do you have as a CEO, and what do you do with that free time outside jobs?
Outside jobs, that's with CEO. This is the thing in my I'm talking about this in my presentation, why being a CEO sucks, because like your sometimes you need to work on weekends, but I have this kind of system that during working times my focus is on work, but I can do my personal stuff if I need. But during my personal time, my focus is on personal time and personal things, but I can do business things as well. So it's not like work-life balance where you separate them completely. No, but
this works more for like employees and stuff.
That's about the focus.
Yeah, that's an employee mindset, I would say, where you have life. I mean, you can have it as a CEO, I would assume, but it's inevitable that you're going to get contacted. It's inevitable that something is going to happen. So are you going to sit on your ass at home, or you're going to pick up the phone and make some calls and solve the problem?
Yeah. If there is a fire, whatever happens, yes, you go there. But I'm trying on the weekends. I'm always thinking about work, about business, like always when I'm going running during the weekends. But the thing is that it's a disciplined thought about that. So I can think and I can write down the ideas, but I'm trying not to run and implement them because I have money for that. So if I have an idea during the weekends, I will just write it down. I will not message anyone. I will not call anyone because I respect their free time. I will get back to this. So I have this system for this as well. But outside of work, I'm doing like lots of stuff. I have my family. So that's your biggest asset because they will be there.
Already keeps you busy enough.
Whatever happens. Yeah. So I love, I mentioned I have a son and I have a daughter. That's why I have this rose thing on my. You can see that a person has.
I initially thought it's for your hair, but then you mentioned it. So
as a daughter, yeah. So I love spending time with them, but also I love traveling. I'm doing hiking. I'm going to mountains. Sometimes very high mountains.
Can people find you on Strava?
Yeah, sure.
How many kilometers a week do you run?
I cannot say about a week. I'm
trying. Let's say a month.
My normal routine. My normal routine is around 20 kilometers per week. That's my like normal routine. Which results some like 1,000 kilometers per year.
Yeah.
But I'm not reaching this goal all the time. So several days ago I was running an ultra marathon. So I was running. It was a trail ultra marathon. It was 46 kilometers. Yeah, so I love running and swimming.
I've seen you a lot of times on marathon, and I would always imagine that you run a lot.
Swimming and bicycle as well, and I also love to play guitar.
So since we got into the personal stuff, is there anything that you regret the most in your life?
I'm trying not to regret about things.
Oh, but let's say there is one thing you regret about. Is there like what is that thing? If you say there's, I don't know, either something you've done you wish you could have done better. I do appreciate the mindset of not regretting though.
Yes, I'm trying. I was changing my my mindset. Once again, this is also about the Stephen Covey, about 7 habits, about focusing on the things that you can change and not focusing on the things that you cannot change, that they're outside of your ability to change. Once again, by the way, about the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, also a brilliant book.
Sounds like a book everyone should read.
Absolutely great book. So and I think I'm not regretting anything, really. like I can say, for example, I should have talked more with my grandfather before he died, for example.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
these kind of things, I did lots of great things together with him as well, and I don't find why I should like be thinking about that.
Yeah, I was
I'm trying
just
to think about the future. So I think I should have done lots of things earlier in my life. For example, reading books. I started like reading more professional books quite late. I started to understanding how money works outside the company, inside the company, how finance worked, and outside the company, the investment things, and so on and so forth. I started late, but the best time you should start is now, right?
yeah.
So can I say I regret that I was so stupid about personal finance when I was 20, when I was 30? I think I hope I'm still stupid. I hope I will still learn a lot
I
of
mean,
things. I think yes, but I don't regret. But some big things I do not regret actually.
so my next question, I guess, would be, since you don't regret about anything and you're quite an accomplished man, are you a happy man as well?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
uh, and for me those are such different things: success and happiness.
Yeah.
I don't care about success, but I care about happiness. I can explain why. Because we are always comparing each other. Yourself, you're always comparing yourself to others. Like I am doing this a lot, too much. And what helps me, and this is a very bad habit. I'm trying not to do this that much. Where you compare your company to other companies and all that stuff. And in terms of success, success can be measured more or less with
Correct.
money, for example, right? So that's why you are like, I'm successful, but he's more. This happens quite often. I feel successful. I see the person who is more successful than me, and I'm like, I'm not successful. Now I'm not that happy, right?
Correct.
So, but happiness cannot be measured. You cannot measure happiness. I cannot say I'm more happy than you are. I don't know.
That's
Even
like beauty. It's like everything that's, I guess, subjective, but at the same time personal to everyone.
and I don't know about are you happy or not. For example, you're coming and say like, this is my big house. Those are my I don't know 10 sport cars, and like, okay, you are successful. Are you happy? I'm not sure you are, because with the wealth, for example, the more you have, the more you want.
It's
And
only, yeah, it's natural, I guess, to
I,
human.
I know that. So it's not like I have for someone like being wealthy is being happy. For someone, it's family. For someone, I'm trying to find the balance there. So yeah, I think happiness is important. Success is not that important.
So, on that note, to end the show, what would you say is your final piece of advice for the audience? What do you want the audience to live with? Like, this is the thing that they should live with.
There is like I was also I had two dreams, like to be interviewed by you and to be interviewed by Yuri Dud. And at the end of the show, he is asking Chamsila, right? Uh, I don't think there is a right translation in English translation for this question.
Yeah.
Like, what is power or what is strength?
Yeah.
Or where is the power, or like, what is strength? What is power? But and I always wished he would ask me about this, and I will answer that it's the power or the strength is not in something material, but is in you. Because actually, the thing is that you can do so much stuff in your life. You can be happy, you can learn how to play guitar, you can do whatever you want, you can earn money. But sometimes we're spending too much time on useless things like watching Facebook, scrolling, watching stories, or whatever, and then we're not happy as a result. And what I understood that lots of things are in my control. I can do lots of stuff. I'm sometimes not doing this just because I'm getting disturbed by the things that are really not important for me. So for me, the main strength is in yourself. So you can do so much stuff. And if you're sometimes you're not doing this just because you are like defocused or whatever. So I think that's the main idea of that you should just see what you're doing on a daily basis, and if you want to change something, just change your routine, and you will see how your life changes.
You mentioned in the private messaging that you like white wine.
Yes.
So given you're driving today,
Mm-hmm.
and we cannot do the wine guessing and stuff game, wine guessing and tasting, you can pick a bottle of white wine. I bought 2 of the same. They're quite similar. So the purpose of the game, I guess, is to trick you a little bit. So you can pick a bottle, and then I guess this is the tradition of the show. Every guest that comes in here gets gifted a bottle, whether by participating in the wine tasting or by me being a little bit creative, since they are a driver. Yeah.
Okay, so I need to pick one, right?
Yeah, you can pick one.
I just remember the previous guest. By the way, don't forget to watch the previous episode of the show. He guessed wrong. The wine,
he did.
right?
He did guess wrong. I was trying to play the same game for you, but yeah.
but I'm driving.
And then I wanted to ask some questions, but then I thought it's just easier to, since you're gonna get one anyway, you can just pick one.
Okay, I will take Vierica. They are both dry white wine, so that's the thing I love. Yeah, but I like Vierica, so I will.
Good choice.
I will take this one, and this one I will leave for someone else. And my gift to you. It's not. I think
no.
This
I'm not expecting a gift. Yeah, I just
know,
wanted to be.
I know you're not, but
yeah.
Just you also want to. I want to give something to you. It's not physical. I want to give you the ticket, the gig ticket, the best one, the most expensive one. I will send it to you after the show.
That's actually an honor.
For Moldova Dev Con. And the other thing, for your subscribers, you also have the promo code Steve15. I think you will put it into description of the show, which gives minus 15% for all your subscribers.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah.
So I have a gift for your audience.
Yeah, you're very prepared, very punctual. I really admire and respect you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So once again, this was the Unstaged. Keep your mind open and your source unstaged. And once again, thank you for being here.